everybody, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. I decided that for this video I was going to take some recommendations and then read them in a reading vlog style video. I am in like a pre-slump, not a full reading slump. So I figured, why not take some good romance recommendations and knock them out real quick to help me get back into reading. Don't do that. She is very loud. Say hi to the troublemaker. She's yelling and just shedding. There's cat hair all over my house. So for this video, I'm going to be taking some recommendations from Jess at Peace Love Books. This is her bad boy recommendations. These are going to be like somewhat dark romances, which isn't out of my wheelhouse, but it's new things for the most part that I haven't read. So we'll get into it because there's a couple different genres and I have some brief descriptions for books that I have yet to read. So the first book that Jess recommends is Bullseye by Monica James. This is from her synopsis and nothing else that I have looked at yet, about an ex-con who starts working at a club that our heroine works at as a dancer, and they get together because they're the main characters. But he has, I guess you get to find out why he was sent to prison and what he's planning on doing while he's outside of prison. Obviously there's the whole like ex-con thing that lends him to be a bad boy, but I'll take it. The next one is also by Monica James. This is Bad Saint. This one is a captor-captive romance, which I might have read like one or two. Not super my niche, but I'm interested to see where it goes. It probably won't dive too deep in like Stockholm Syndrome analysis, but I'm interested, I guess, to see it as a romance. I don't hate it. Ah, interesting. Okay, the next book I'm not going to say the title for, but I will throw it up right here. It's a book by Devney Perry. This one is about a reporter who I guess goes back to her hometown and starts investigating the reason that this motorcycle club disbanded, and she's interviewing the son of the president or the president, something along those lines. The next book is Bound by Honor by Cora Riley. This one might be like number one or two that I'm most excited about. Like it's in the top two. This one is an arranged marriage between what I'm assuming is two like mafia, what is it called? Arranged crime? Yeah, what am I thinking? Organized crime. Oh my god. And I think from what Jess said, this one is like an age gap romance, which is pretty cool. The next one is not, I guess it's kind of close to Credence actually, but it's different. So this one is Alaska Wild by Helena Newberry, and this one follows a felon and the FBI agent who's sent to maybe take him to prison. And then they're on a plane and the plane goes down and they're stuck in the Alaskan wilderness, which does not sound like anything that I am slightly interested in, but I don't know. We're gonna try it. This is probably the one that I'm most apprehensive about plot-wise, so we'll see. Maybe I'll find a new favorite niche. The next one is a historical romance, The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne, and so Kerrigan Byrne wrote probably one of my favorite historical romances that I read last year, maybe of all time, called How to Love a Duke in 10 Days. And this seems very similar to that. And so I'm excited to see how it goes. But this one is like a second chance-ish historical romance. They met as children. He got sent away and then they meet up later, but he's a criminal and she's on the right side of the law. I know that they get caught up in it and it just goes together. I'm excited for this one. I really enjoyed the other book that I've read by Kerrigan Byrne, so I have high hopes. And this was the other one that I was really excited about. And then the last recommendation that she had, I already read. This was Credence by Penelope Douglas. I think I gave this one like four stars maybe. I read this with Morgan for our book club. The episode, don't ask me about it. I don't have any answers for when that will be up. And now Scout is gonna play with her toy. So I guess I will finish up this part of the video and I will see you after or while I am reading books. So this is a weird angle. I've never sat here and filmed myself in this particular way, so it's very weird for me. But I finished my first book, and I have some thoughts. So it was the Alaska Wild by Helena, whatever the last name is. So I literally like just finished this book like 2 seconds ago, and I don't know how to feel. I think honestly, as far as content goes and like writing and the story itself, I'm gonna give it a 2.5. It's completely middle of the road, like flat in the middle. I didn't love it, hate it, like it, dislike it. It's just like, it was fine. So this is the one that was about the FBI agent. She goes to Alaska because she's looking for a witness to another crime that she's been investigating. Finds out that she's not there, so she jumps on a plane headed to where she wants to go with 2 federal marshals and 2 fugitives. So one of them is a stock market guy, con man, who just took a bunch of money from people, and then the other one is an ex-SEAL who was court-martialed. I don't know military terms, but he was like charged in military court for a crime that he may or may not have committed. So she's on the plane, finds out that the marshals are in league with the stocks money guy, and if they drop him off, he'll go to Russia. Since they're in Alaska, he'll go to Russia and they'll get money, and they kill the pilot, but there's bodies, so people think that he's dead. Whatever. But there's 2 extra people on the plane, and it's Kate and Boone, and they survive the plane crash and then spend like a week and a half maybe in the Alaskan wilderness. They are just trekking together, learn a little bit more about each other, bang, and then kill the bad guys. They don't kill them, defeat the bad guys. So now I will go into the notes that I took, which is is it gonna focus? This long. I didn't take a lot of notes. My first note is, I get it, she's small. So they say that she's 5'2" and he's like 6'4", maybe, which is tall for a man, average height for a woman, right? I'm 5'3". So I know people taller than me, I know people shorter than me, so I don't feel like I'm small. Okay, yes, my camera did die. I charged it for like 2 minutes, but I'm back. So my last thought that I left you with was that she's tiny. That's she's small and she wears her hair in a braid, are pretty much the only 2 physical descriptions that you get of this woman, which is quite hilarious to me. Like, that's just so bizarre. But I will continue to make this point that she is very tiny because it's almost all that they talk about. It was so weird. It was just too strange for me. Okay, and then you also get some choice literary quotes, such as hot explosion of his semen at the time of sex. And then they mentioned if she was a regular sized woman, they wouldn't be able to both fit in a sleeping bag. And then asked if she's crushing him by laying on top of him, which was just super bizarre. And then at the very end, she is almost escaped, and then basically half dead. No provisions, no pack. She's just been wandering through Alaska. Decides to turn around to help them, even though she has no means of helping anyone, which was hilarious and just so dumb to me. And okay, before my camera dies, again, I'm going to leave you with this one last thought, which is an arbitrary scale that I made up in my mind, and it will be the bad boy rating. And I am going to give him a 1 out of 5 for bad boy. He's not a bad boy. He is a very morally, like, correct character, like, very lawful good, lawful neutral, perhaps. He is on the run, but he's not a bad boy. Like, he's really not. He's got the whole soldier thing, like, mountain man, but he's really not a bad boy. Not in the sense that I think of a bad boy. He's like nice to children. He's nice to this little girl that they find, not a bad boy. So that's this one. There's cat hair on my face, and I will see you at the next clip whenever I finish another one. I'm in a new spot. This is a different angle for where I usually stand, right in front of my closet by my, I guess my vanity. It's not really anything. I did finish another book. Oh, hi baby. I told her I was gonna come film and she did come sit by me. Anyways, I finished another book. I finished Bullseye by Monica James. Is that who it was? Probably. Anyways, I feel like I have both thoughts and feelings about this book, so let's get into it. So this was the book about the ex-con and the dancer, and so I will say on the like base level, the closest book that I could compare this to would be, what's it called, that series by Penelope Douglas where they go to prison and they're getting revenge on somebody? That's what this is. He's in prison because he shot someone, and they call him Bullseye because he shot a man who, an unarmed man just chilling, so I don't think someone not moving would be that hard of a target. Anyways, so there's Bullseye, and they call him Bull, and she and then Lily, who goes by Tiger Lily at the strip club that she works for, and he calls her Tiger. I would say that they're well suited in the sense that they're both like masochists, so that was interesting. There's some interesting talk about like morality and being a bad person, I guess, and him not having emotions. So as far as this book goes and what I would rate it, probably a 2. It did end on a cliffhanger, and I did get Megan March vibes a little bit. Slightly, just a little bit. Not the kind of thing that I'm looking for. I think this was a 2-star for me. I did do some notes, a little bit more than I did last time, that it goes a little bit farther down. I guess I'll just read what I wrote off. If it gets spoilery, I don't think it does. Oh. So he has 2 different color eyes, and apparently, you know what? It's just the duality of man, my dudes. He was a bad guy. He was a normal kid, and now he's a bad guy. It's the 2 sides of the coin. What is it? The half-face guy from all the Batman comics. He was in prison, so he doesn't like to be touched. He shot a man in cold blood. His only regret was getting caught. So in the story, he shoots him, and there's an off-duty cop right next door who runs over and like sees him with the gun, and he goes to prison for 12 years. He has he has knuckle tats that say Lone Wolf, and it is referenced more than once, which was super fun. As far as, so he honestly probably was a fine character to read about and to read from. Lily was probably super annoying to me. If I had to put it on the spectrum somewhere, she would be super annoying. She grew up poor and got pregnant and teaches ballet and strips, but she's not a stripper. She's a dancer who takes her clothes off. And I have never taken a pole class, but I feel like you're not supposed to put oil on yourself, right? Am I wrong? Because the pole spins. I've done no research, but the pole spins on its own, right? And you spin with it. You are not supposed to be slippery, because that could cause injury. Am I wrong? And Jess, I think it was for this book, but she talked about how she figured out what the twist was, like 20% in. And I marked down if it's what I think it is, and it was what I thought it was. So I think it sets up well for the rest of the books, which I'm not going to read, but it was kind of a cheap way to continue things on. I don't know, I think it could have been fun to see like two slightly morally gray characters just fucking shit up, killing people. Who cares? It's fiction. I wouldn't recommend doing that IRL, but I wouldn't have hated it if it happened instead of what happened. It just, and then so I guess she gets attacked and is getting choked, but he gets stabbed. And it just reminded me of that scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Holt has the fucking pole stuck through his leg and Jake is like freaking out and hyperventilating and vomiting, and Captain Holt is like, it's okay, just breathe, I got it, I'm gonna take the pole out now, I'm gonna sew it up. And Jake's like, oh my, that's what she was doing. He was like, I'm gonna take the knife out, and she was like, I'm gonna throw up. I was like, relax. He has to drive the car. He got stabbed. He was stabbed and he has to drive the car. Oh, and then he saved a cat, which I thought was really cute. And then what happened to the cat? What happened to him? So, like I said, I would give this book like a 2-star ratings, but I will give him a 4. 4 out of 5 on my bad boy scale. He's not the type of bad boy I'm looking for, not me personally. I think that I do like the characters who I can appreciate having like a reason to go apeshit on do what you gotta do, but I do like it where they're just like, this is what I want to do. When they're a villain because that's what they want to do. And he was also an asshole also to her. There was a series that, or at least a book that I read, where it was like the Jasmine and Jafar retelling, where he was an asshole, but he was just doing what he wanted to do. He was just fucking shit out because he wanted to, and I can respect that a lot better than what was going on in this one. So that was just me. My rating for the book went down, but my bad boy rating did go up. I look worse. I feel like my eyes are like swollen and I can't see because I've been reading on my computer all day. I feel terrible. Did finish another book, and a surprise, I actually really liked it. I know we're all a little bit shocked. It's just it had to happen, I think. At some point it had to happen. I had to have a good time reading one of these books. I read Bad Saint. So this is about, I promise I just finished the book. Her name is Willow. I forgot because they only say her name like 5 times in the whole book. Okay, so she gets married, she's on her honeymoon, and she gets kidnapped. She's on a boat with 3 guys, and she ends up falling for one of them. They start up a somewhat relationship. From what he says, what she learns, she's been kidnapped to be given to a Russian mobster man. I don't know what his deal is, but he has enough people willing to kidnap a woman from Greece. They start a weird relationship where it's like pseudo BDSM. I always forget the order, but with Russian on a boat. So as far as this one goes, I'm gonna give it a 3 stars, which I think is pretty, 3.5, I don't know. Okay, so it was good and I really enjoyed it, so I'm rating it like solely off my enjoyment of the book. So my notes for this one are very short. It's a lot less notes. The first one that I have is 6 weeks. She knows the man that she gets married to for 6 weeks before she gets married, which is not a red flag, completely normal. She had also, like the other book that I just read, super fucked up, relatively fucked up upbringing, so I think that was part of it. I said the beginning was very info dumpy. It did get better towards the end. It got weird, but it also got better. They adopt a chicken, so and it mentions chartreuse a lot, which is this color, and it's so ugly. So you're supposed to think this is a really sexy man with eyes this color. My last note, I sound like an idiot, but For the bad boy rating, I'll give him a 3. Because he's like a hitman. But, and my note is, he's a bad boy like Edward is a bad boy. So in the sense that, yeah, he's killed people, but he doesn't want to. He feels bad. There were no interactions with children in this one, so I can't base anything off of that. But there are probably like 10 people in this whole book. This one is also a series, but I'm not gonna read it. It's very strange. It's very weird. I wouldn't call it a healthy relationship, but now we're on my couch. It's been a day since I filmed the last clips, but I'm back. And I just finished one. Finished this one. Finished book. And I feel like I did really enjoy it. So I'm gonna give it like probably 3 stars. So this is the motorcycle club. It's like a post motorcycle club. They're not active. They've disbanded, whatever their fancy words for it are. So this is about, her name is Bryce, and he goes by Dash, but his name is Kingston. Well, they say why, but it was like it is Dash from The Incredibles because he would run around. Anyway, she's a reporter, new to town, and he is the son of the former president of this disbanded club. She has been really interested in like why they disbanded. People seem to have like really positive views of this club, and the police could never pin them on anything actually illegal. So she wants to start investigating the club to see what happened, why they would have disbanded, and she figures out that one of them is being accused for murder, the former president, the father of Dash. So they start up a rapport trying to figure out what happened because he's very adamant that his dad did not kill this woman and she's like criminals. So yeah, this one. I did really like this one. I don't want to say surprised because it's not really surprising. I think this was a good written romance, and so I think that really impacts me positively. I didn't make any notes for this one. I was not feeling great, so I didn't do that. But I think I'll give this one 3, and then probably 3 stars on the bad boy scale. He's like a reformed bad boy. So it's hard to be able to judge him on like an actual bad boy scale, but I'll give him a 3. I'm trying to like cycle through all the male love interests from the books that I've read. He's probably my favorite so far, I'm not gonna lie. I think that he was seemed the most fleshed out, had the best personality to me, and I did really enjoy this one. So there's this book. I will see you at the next one. I think I have like 2 left. I don't know. We'll see. That's my phone. Okay, thank you. Now that she's laying down, I finished another book. There's a clip in my hair. I'm gonna take it out because I feel like it looks weird, but I just put dry shampoo in my hair, so we had to get it out of I don't know. It looks terrible. Just don't at me right now. Anyways, finished another book. The Bound by whatever it was called. Found out that I had already read it, but since I didn't remember anything that happened, I just read it again. So, as far as the book goes, it's not really a good book. I don't think anything happens in the story of the book. Like, there's no plot to it. So I'm gonna give the book like a 2 stars. This is since I just realized I didn't tell you the plot, this is the book with the arranged mafia marriage. Like, she is 18 and her dad is a mob boss, and he marries her off to another one. So she moves away from her family and is living with this guy, and they kind of fall in love, I guess. Is that the vibe we're supposed to get, that they're in love with each other? But yeah, that was that one. I would say really nothing happens. But, however, if anybody was going to be a bad boy, I would say that he's definitely a bad boy. Not... I don't remember the name of the second book that I read. What was it? Bullseye? When I read Bullseye? I would say they're pretty close. So I'd give him a 4 on the bad boy scale. His name is Luca, and I can't remember what her name is. Something like Aria. I think it is Aria. But that was this one. I really don't have anything. What are you doing? Are you okay? I really don't have anything to say about this one because not a lot happened. And the ending was also weird. But I think I have one more book left. Is that accurate? I don't know, but I might almost be done with this video. And then we'll get to see how this goes. I have been having fun. So hooray. Why are you walking like that? Okay, well, she moved to lick her butt, so. Well, if you've made it this far in the video, that means we have both finished it all up. Yes, I did finish The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne, and I probably will say that this was my favorite book out of all of the recommendations, and I did expect it. I really liked How to Love a Duke in 10 Days, it's either Love or Lose, but I'm mixing a bunch of different media right now for whatever the name is, but I knew just based on the way that I really liked that book that I wasn't going to not like this book. And I was right. This one is the only historical romance recommendation that we got from Jess, but I did really enjoy it. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. I think, if anything, it follows the regular historical romance plot arcs where it just does the same thing. I did really think this one was interesting. This follows our 2 characters, Farah and Dorian. I know Dorian is the name he goes by later. I can't remember what the first name that he goes by, but they meet as children in an orphanage. And they decide to get married. So they're 10 and 12, something like that. They're pretty young, but they marry each other. And then Farah is assaulted by the head priest of the orphanage, and so Dorian stabs him and then is sent away. And then the real story comes from 17 years later when Farah is working for Scotland Yard, and she's kind of a well-known blue-stocking widow that she still goes by Dorian's last name, and she just tells everybody that she was widowed. And he, after getting out of the work camp, he was a highwayman. Now he's just like an infamous criminal who everybody knows and is kind of like the boogeyman of this time, where everybody's just scared of him, and he has a lot of respect with like criminals and stuff. So he ends up finding her after all these years and tells her that he met, I think it's Dugan. She doesn't realize that they're the same person, but he tells her that before Dugan died they were best friends, and that he asked him to find her and take care of her. And so it just kind of goes from there. Whew. So 4 stars for this book, maybe even 4.5. But as far as the bad boy factor goes, I am gonna give him a 4 stars. I think it's very different, a very different vibe from all the contemporary books that I read for the rest of this video. Very different, obviously, but still really enjoyable by me. He's a very damaged character in the way that a lot of Victorian heroes are, but oof, it just got me. It got me right in the feels, and I really enjoyed this one. So if you, like I said at the beginning of this clip, if you made it all the way through the video, thanks for sticking it out with me. Is that proper grammar? Yes. So I hope you had a good time watching this. I really had a good time kind of experiencing all these books, taking someone else's recommendations, which I don't do very often. I'm kind of headstrong in my own reading choices, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you had a good time, or if you have any other recommendation ideas, you can tweet me videos and I will do this again because I think this could be like a fun little series. So let me know what you thought. I am on Twitter, Goodreads, YouTube, obviously. If you have any pressing concerns, you can message me there. And I hope to see you guys in another video. Hope everyone's having a good day, and I will see you next time. Bye!